All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is May 15th, 2023. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hey, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. I'm a little bit under the weather, but a lot better than the past few days. I hope you guys bear with us.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, you hear a lot better than last time I saw you, that's for sure, so... Definitely one thing. Also, an Axio spawned in my house.
I'll be over.
That's for sure. Just like random Axio appear and everything. Also, thank you for the sub there, brother. So,
31 months.
we're here once again to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as everybody else. Don't forget, we are part of Free Professor Network. Check us out, professornetwork.com/Purified Podcast. Wonderful people to work with every single day. Good people to talk to anyways. So, all right. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about today. Oh, man, definitely some ups and downs in the community today for sure.
Oh, every day.
Oh, goodness. It's like, it feels like this season itself has probably been the most roller coaster of emotions for the entire, Pokemon Go career that we had.
I could say, yeah, I could definitely see that. Because
Yeah.
when COVID came out, it was just uncertainty. And right now, everyone's like, are we mad? I don't know, maybe.
It's hilarious. It's just amazing, to say the least, that things like that have or a lot of things have just go on in the community itself. Like Pokemon Go itself, it's kind of dull, I guess I should say. It's not the greatest. I mean, we still love playing the game every single day, but it's not like we're opening it up every day and things like that, So, I mean, I still do my dailies and all the stuff, but it's just like I open it up, I see a Pokemon Pokestops or Pokemons, and then kind of turn it off. Mostly because I don't have anything to do when I'm at work. I could run the Go Plus all day, but what's the point, So it's like there's no. And Drowsy finally got here. There's no narrative. There's no I want to say goal to Pokemon Go right now, plus everything that's going on too. But again, we're just going through it. We're definitely gonna cover a lot of news because there is just too much to talk about anyway. So let's first talk about, I guess, our recaps. How's this last week been for you, brother?
It's actually been a fairly decent week. No new shinies, but still a good haul. I got a shiny Sneasel, pretty high CP too. I didn't even realize, 1673, which I think I caught during an adventure incense, but I don't know. I don't think it was from it. I was able to get a Snorlax, perfect Snorlax.
I'm jelly.
From one of the research quests. I was very happy about that. I got another shiny Pikachu again.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, we were on an adventure instance after one of the raid days and happened to snag that guy. A shiny Spearow showed up last night at my home again. So I think I got the family now. And then
Finally.
Yeah. And then today I got a Hundo Sandshrew, which should be my second one. I mean, living in Florida, we see a lot of ground types. So yeah, I'm not disappointed at all. Yeah, what do you got going on this week? No, that was actually my first one.
Oh, Jesus. Well, after Clipboard Day, really, the only things that I really got, I think the last shiny was the Pidove. Did I get that? Yeah, I got also that during Raid Day. I also got a Tapu Fini, so that's good.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm
Shiny.
still waiting on that guy.
I'm glad, happy about that. I also got a Starly sometime in the last, like the last time since the last time we talked. So yeah, shiny was cool. I mean, the type of finishing up the line was amazing. So I'll take that. As for Hondas, I believe this is the second week that I actually can't give you any Hondas, brother.
I'm taking them from you.
I know. It's like this man right here is just like, oh, I'm gonna sell the Hondas. You know what happened to the Thunder?
Don't worry, you'll get 3 on the week. I don't get one.
And it's a community day weekend this Sunday actually.
Ooh.
So that's definitely gonna be one that we're gonna be playing, especially because it's a funny game. So, but yeah, no, not too bad at a whole. Not enough, unfortunately. And Drowsy just likes to, keep me at bay today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good enough. It's like I'm playing the game as much as I want to. That's pretty good. I also got some Kecleons. So that's pretty good. We did Reggie Drago our 5 p.m. hour for it, or I guess half an hour, I don't know. And surprisingly, we found 2 Kecleons. At least Chris found 2 Kecleons. I got them.
I got that eye.
The eye of the tiger.
But yeah, we got super lucky with that.
Yeah. Well, Chris is actually in the next step, while I'm still hustling to get the last one. So I don't know. Chris is gonna get his shiny Shirashi before I do, and that's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be a Shunda, and I'm just gonna be like, well, yep, you can take over the podcast from here on out. Like I'm the peasant here.
I retire. Yeah, the mythicals have not been good to me, so maybe it would be deserved.
The regular mythicals hasn't really been as good, I guess, but the shiny mythicals have not actually been too bad so far. So I think this Mew is a 93. Yeah, 93. And then the Celebi is also 93. So I'm just waiting for Jirachi to come around. And just hopefully get a good one. I did get a 98 Shaman at one point. So that's not too bad in that department. Of course, it's 14 attack. So... but yeah, so that's technically the small recap. Of course, I did mention that with Reggie Drago, and it wasn't too bad. We actually had a good chunk of people actually doing it at the hour that we were able to. We were only able to see 2 for that specific hour, but then we started hunting for the Kecleons and doing things here and there. We talked to a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a while either. So I know there's still people doing some in-person stuff, mostly because Reggie Drago does push you to be in person when it comes down to it anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that at least they're able to communicate and show up for the type of raids anyways. So, and I guess that's the good incentive to get the community going again. It's still going to take probably a little more events than just that at this point. But we'll see when it comes down to it. I did get 2 Regidragos. Chris got 2 Regidragos. I got a tiny one, actually. I got an extra small Regidrago. Which, let me show you guys here.
Small but mighty.
It's tiny! And then the other one's bigger. Yeah, the comparison is actually pretty big because it's like pretty small in comparison to the Drago one. So...
you get a better look at it,
yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, so that's that, and I believe that's mostly what the week has really given us. The Valor's Heroes event for Team Valor is still going on for another day or so. It's pretty much ending in 2 days, actually. But they did add some things that were not mentioned into the blog post and added it right after the beginning of it, or right at the beginning of it. One of the most notorious one is that you are able to get 2 free raid passes per day by stealing Pokestops, which is good because Regidrago was actually cheap in that sense. But you also get 2 times mysterious components from Tingle Rockets. I didn't even know that was a thing until I actually started getting more components from the Rockets.
Good things come in 2s.
Yeah.
They definitely shoved the number 2 into this event.
That's for sure. I mean, 2 times candy and 2 times exo candy when catching Pokemons. But yeah, it's interesting. But I feel like they were trying to do something sneaky, mostly because of what may actually be coming soon. So, but again, it's the speculation. Tinfoil had moments that we know that we'll get there when we get there, So, so I guess we should probably get started on the news. I know it's we move it along pretty fast here when it comes down to things, but in the world of Pokemon Go, news-wise, it's not the biggest factor right now because they actually started teasing something, which I believe we know what it is, but they started going to Twitter and started teasing stuff, which I believe that we're gonna actually reveal either tomorrow or in a day or so from here. Mostly because I know how Niantic works these days, and Niantic Cat likes to mess with me every now and then. But the biggest news that we have to talk about, and I think this is gonna take most of the podcast today, just because of how it's to be. But if you guys don't know, the Silph Road, which is our basically community of resources, have finally said it's been an honor. It's time to end it. After 7 years, the Silph Road will be ceasing operations by the end of the summer, or I believe by the end of the summer. So. The Silph Road posted is farewell, technically, I should say, but let's check it out real quick. Just as it says, at the end of the era, after 7 extraordinary years, thank you for me not understanding the words, the Silph Road team is ceasing operations. Thank you for all joining us on this remarkable journey. Hey everyone, and many of you remember a year ago when I shared that Niantic decided to sponsor the Silph Road, just in time as our cost of operations were becoming too great to continue. For the past 12 months, that sponsorship allowed the team to continue to even keep the Silph's web resources ad-free. We'll always be grateful for the support Niantic has sent our way this year. But all good things must come to an end. Niantic's sponsorship of the Silph Road has concluded as of the recording of this blog post. After considering the mounting financial constraints facing our team, along with the momentum and landscape of the game in 2023, our team has decided to come to a bittersweet conclusion. It's time to close what has been an incredible, rewarding, and memorable chapter of our lives. The Silph Reddit, the Silph Road Reddit subreddit isn't going anywhere. The mod team operates independently from the Silph Road team, and they plan to keep our beloved sub thriving. But this week, we're beginning to retire all Silph Road's other tools, programs, websites, socials, channels, and community resources. And here's the timeline for the wind down. So before we actually get into the timeline, this is a little bittersweet for sure, because Chris and I, we have relied on the Silph Road and Silph Arena for the longest time, and I definitely have it's kind of incredible that something like this is actually happening. I want to hear your thoughts, though, Chris.
Yeah, early on, I know when I heard about the competitive side of the Silph Road, I had my doubts of one person coming up and taking up the reins. I was like, okay, whatever. But I was like, well, they're the only people. And then I was like, wait, they're actually doing a really good job. This is pretty cool. So I was very appreciative after that. And I remember hearing from Lured Up, and it definitely reminded me, yes, some of the first people I heard it from was people like Trainer Tips, who very much advocated for it, especially the nest aspect of it.
Yeah.
So we could report nests. So I was very happy to report nests for every rotation, to kind of share that community side, kind of so if I reported nests, other people would. And then I wouldn't have to go out every single time to look at every single nest. But yeah, it was very community driven. So very nice to see. You love to see other people playing the game, and it's kind of hard to see that all the time because people are always looking at their phones for other things. So you never know if it's Pokemon Go or not. But that's my 2 cents. Let me hear your perspective.
Well, with anything, the Silph Road has been, just like we call it, the grassroots, the foundation of Pokemon Go community from the very beginning. For the last 7 years, really the very first place you wanted to go to for anything, either news related or like percentage related, or even what's changing within the months and everything. The Silk Road was always there, no matter what you do, even at the beginning. And the thing is, it's like this community, the Silk Road, it started just small, just like any other game. I mean, Pokemon Go, even though as massive as popularity it was back in 2016, the Silk Road was just there to help us out, and it really came as the foundation for us to know how Pokemon Go really is understandable and how to bring the community together, So it's basically a pillar that's technically there, it's just being shut down. Just like anything, like, if anybody has ever actually read like mangas or something, there's always pillars, like, things that are keep on going, they're popular and things like that. Silk Road was one of those. Like, no matter what you do, how you do it, it was there. So seeing it shut down after all these years, it's just a bittersweet moment, just because we have grown with it together every step of the way, from the very beginning, from the very first day Pokemon Go came out until now. And it's just, sad to see it go. But it's understandable. I mean, and a few things. It's understandable in a few things. It's definitely a roller coaster of emotions on this, because it's after everything that has happened in the last few months, and how this season has been really been a weird side of things for a lot of us. Having something like this actually say that it's going to close down pretty soon, it's not helping the cause right now. Which, there are a lot of people who are saying that Niantic doesn't care about the Silk Road. That is not true. Unfortunately, things have to move on, and Niantic will move on in its own way, and then the Silk Road will have to move in another. So it's not like they're basically saying they're ending things in bad terms. It's just that regardless, they helped out. They were able to do it. They took away from not really took away, but they shared their resources as much as possible, and gave Niantic a stepping stone. And really, not just a stepping stone, not really that. It's a literal foundation on how things are gonna work out from here on out. And let's just go over the last few things here from the Silk Road, and then share what Niantic has to say about what's going on. So, the timeline for how things are going. So on May 12th, the day of this report from the Silk Road, the SilphRoad.com community map, Net Atlas, and other various game resources are retired and will be inaccessible moving forward. So the next big thing, just like Rick has mentioned, the community map, where the check-ins were things around, and other resources where, like you can just check on percentages for shadows or things like that. They're all going to shut down as of that day specifically, so May 12th. Then the SilphRoad.com Traveler's Card remain accessible and functional until August 1st. So the Traveler's Cards are something that they were using to, let's say, meet up with trainers, check in with them, say that we met here and there. And that was actually a pretty cool thing. Plus, after the Silph Arena was actually introduced, they added a lot of things that seemed pretty good when it came down to it. And just like what tournaments you could play and medals that you have won, they were actually pretty cool. The Community Ambassador Program will operate solely by Niantic moving forward. So that's where Niantic's response will be after we finish up this. The Silph Arena, so Silph.gg, will remain fully operational until the current season concludes, with an updated season schedule. Arena competitors look for more details, and then faction competitors will have more details in other parts of what it says, which we can cover probably, but that depends on how far we go through today. The Silph Research Group will continue researching game mechanics on their Discord server and will share findings directly on the subreddit instead of the SilphRoad.com. So the group that really seeing most of the information from the Silph Road technically are still going to be out there. It's just they're going to go in a separate way instead of just posting everything on the Silph Road or the website itself. Then on May 21st, which is not too long from now, last day for community event check-ins for any type of event. So Silph event check-ins, the system closes at the end of the day. So if you wanted to get part of a Silph Arena, let's say tournament with something, I think that's going to end. But we have to look further into that. Again, but anything community-wise, so anything that you guys plan out for your communities, that will cease to function as of the 21st. And then on August 1st, which I believe will be the last day of the Silph Road, Seal.gg's final season concludes, and the Arena Hall of Fame is snapshot and archive for prosperity. Traveler's cards are snapshot and archive for prosperity, and we will pull the plug, and the last remaining Seal service goes dark. Yeah, I mean, it feels bad. It feels like really that it feels like part of my life is just taken away from me, just like this. You know, it's like it's kind of hard to say that, even though the Silk Road, and even though I didn't like after a few years, I didn't go to the Silk Road that often, but the Silk Arena was also a very part thing, so it kind of kept going in some way, just in a different direction, regardless. So I mean, it's just incredible to say that the team running the SilkRoad.com was just amazing. It's amazing. I know that they're still going to go and do things that will help the community in their own ways, but just having this say that it's done is done. You know, it's like I never thought about it. I never thought after the 7 years things like this were gonna happen. But it was kind of, I guess it was kind of foreshadow in some ways. It was, but in the end of the day, it's just like, okay, well, I kind of wanted it to be here until the end. So
yeah, I kind of saw it like a rock, like you know, it was just gonna sit there, you know, do its thing. We were gonna just know it was safe to be here.
yeah.
And then they were like, actually, sorry, we gotta go.
Yeah.
So it definitely took me off guard.
Well, life has to move on, and I'm sure that the team and the Silk Road has their own independence things, because most of the Silk Road is just volunteers, you know, like most of the work that they do is just volunteer work. They started out small, they became super big. They even had Niantic on their side, you know, at some point, but it's just one of those things that I wish it wasn't so bittersweet to take out, you know. Just like breaking up with a bad with with a good relationship or something, and be like a salon partner, you know. So regardless, there are some stats that the team, you know, has actually posted here. So it says, for fun and maybe just a teensy bit because of the highlight how much work the incredible Silph has put all labor of love. Here's a look back at the most or some of the numbers of the Silph Rosa in 7 years. So local communities on the league map, 33,608 local communities from 74 countries. Traveler's card created over 1 million, almost 2 million, 1,969,000. Whew. Nest reported 2,684,000. 135,000 PvP tournaments where at least 3,923,000 matches were played. That's incredible. That's awesome. That's crazy. 1,671,000 events check-ins recorded at live event staff by 29,000 in-person volunteers. 29,000 in-person volunteers. That's insane. That, oh my goodness, that's just come to show that what we see on Twitter and things like that, that's just a percentage of what we actually see in the real world. This is the true heroes that we actually see here because of how they want to check in the community, you know. The website sessions of the SilkRoad.com since 2016, 206 million sessions of the website. That, you know, a lot of people really go to the Silk Road. And the subreddit subscribers to the Silk Road, 821,000. Oh my goodness, that's some very big numbers. That's definitely something. Even as myself, I'm surprised that Silk Road was the big part of that community in the end of the day. So again, bittersweet. Thank you so much for the Silk Road team for really doing so much for the community for the last 7 years. I know things are gonna move forward. I hope to see more, hopefully, in some shape, way, or form from the community, from them. I know that this is basically the start of something new, really, because it feels like even though they can group up together because of the cost and everything, that's mostly one of the biggest things that is that they're going to go in a way that's still going to help the community, still reach out to the big people out there. And really show that they still care about the community, even though we may not display or see them as much in the long run. So, really, it's just amazing. I want to share maybe a couple of things that I remember from the Silk Road. Uh, Chris, one of the things that you mentioned was the nest thing. Yes, I do remember going to the Silk Road all the time, just checking up the nest, seeing what I wanted to catch. The early days, that was actually pretty cool. Really, if it wasn't for Silph Arena, I don't think Chris and I would have met anyways. Or
It
maybe
would
we
have,
met, but we wouldn't be as big as we hope to be.
yeah, it'd just be like, so when are we meeting up to fight that Tyranitar?
Yeah, no, I remember those days too.
Not any real friendly competition like PvP is.
Yeah, I mean, I really have to be grateful to the Silk Arena and the Silk Road and Silk Arena for almost everything community wise when it comes down to this, because I remember everybody was using it. Everybody was using it to report, to get information of research stats, percentages, catch rates, rates,
They were the
everything.
scientists, man.
Yeah, and they had such incredible team of scientists to report on almost everything that the game really had to offer. What was the percentage of how many Pokemon you hatched for this egg or this event or this like that? It's like every time I read something like that, I'm just amazed at how many people really volunteer for this kind of work. But again, it was mostly volunteer work, so it's not something that they could do for a living. At the same time, the Pokemon Go really shouldn't be your living unless you're like a big content creator. But it's hard, maybe. So it's just one of those things. But yeah, it's just the memories, the things that we knew that the South Arena was there for everybody, and Twitter and everything has really been honoring the Silk Road for everything they have done, everything they have actually come around. I mean, I even remember checking in with King and Psionic during Go Fest in 2019 in one of the big tournaments that they did that night. That was pretty cool too. I was actually like, I gotta get their check-in, because I really wanted to get them in my meetup report card, I guess. That was pretty fun. But yeah, it's incredible. So now, I mean, is there anything else that you want to say, Chris, for the Silk Road?
Thank you for all you've done. It is really sad to see them go. I don't know what to say without lingering on the sad aspect of it too much, but I just gotta say I'm definitely very thankful for how much they've grown the communities of Pokemon Go. For the people that didn't even know Discord was a thing, they could still communicate via the nests and everything.
Yeah.
And just find the PvP tournaments and everything, so you knew where to meet up. I thought that was really cool. But I've heard talks of people trying to pick up certain parts of the thing, mostly the PvP side. And I know that they were inspired by Silph. So in no way are they trying to, overshadow what's happening by them shutting down. They're just trying to help, pick up the reins and,
Oh yeah.
kind of leave a good legacy.
Oh yeah.
For them. Yeah.
And
Don't
just
let it crumble.
and I don't believe it's gonna go anywhere.
No.
Like the legacy of the Silk Road really will put things into perspective for a lot of leaders out there, and they're definitely going to show that this was just the beginning in the end of the day. So it will happen. Also, Lord Drew, thank you for joining us. But yeah, so that's the Silk Road. If you guys have anything that you want to share, thanks to the Silk Road or anything like that, just let us know. I mean, we really like hearing stories of the moments that really makes Pokemon Go great with the community in retrospect. So then we are going to go what Niantic has really have to say about their community ambassador program and then the Silk Road transition. So after the last post from the Silk Road, Niantic, or at least Pokemon Go, decided to tweet out also on the same day to share what their plans are. So, and once again, we'll just read it word for word, just because again it's a little hard to summarize when it comes down to it. So, trainers, for the past year, we had the pleasure of partnering with the Silk Road on the Community Ambassador Program. It's been great working with the team on this project, and it's also been incredible watching the passionate contributors at the Silk Road grow a truly amazing community hub. While we're sad to see the Silk Road closing its doors, we want to thank them for all that they've done for the Pokemon Go community in the last 6 years, technically 7. The Community Ambassador Program will continue to move forward into this next iteration. While we are closing the applicants for the month of May during the transition, community leaders will have to expanded opportunities to apply to be a community ambassador outside of the Silk Road. Soon, trainers from across the globe will be able to apply this revamped program via Campfire, providing opportunities to share and grow their communities and receive rewards for gathering in person to play. We'll continue to add more opportunities into the program, such as providing unique access and rewards for the community ambassador and their fellow trainers. You'll still be able to use the Pokemon Go app to share where you can find your local communities and play or play together during special events. And stay tuned for more updates as we get ready for the future of the Community Ambassador Program. And thank you again to the team of the Silk Road for their energy, passion, and dedication. So basically, the Community Ambassador Program was really a helpful or reworked, because the Silk Road technically was the one that it started the Community Ambassador Program, and I'm glad that they were actually able to really contribute into the Pokemon Go community members like that. But at the same time, since Pokemon Go, or at least Niantic, is moving on from there, then the Silk Road also has to move on in their own respectively ways. But yeah, so in the end of the day, even though we don't really talk about much about the Community Ambassador Program, it is a great way to actually get your community out there, help them play Pokemon Go, get rewards, things like that. Having it be a Campfire seems a little far-fetched, mostly because we know that the app itself has yet to fix a lot of its problems. But I hope that will also be a very good way to actually introduce a nice small way of getting the community together in some way, shape, or form in your local community, of course. So we hope that at least the Silk Road, or at least Pokemon Go, has learned as much from the Silk Road that we have learned much from Pokemon Go, and vice versa in the end of the day. So yeah. Any thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, I've heard PvP Steve and Swedish Chief giving out forms on Twitter, to see what people were interested in, because I think they might be one of the people trying to set up another grassroots system. Nothing set in stone yet, but that's what I believe.
Yeah.
And I've also heard of I believe the gym leaders of Go Stadium. I believe there's some of the people that are trying to set up things. I might be mistaken on that second one because I'm not as familiar with it.
Yeah.
But I do know there's definitely people that are trying to keep the PvP scene alive, especially the tournaments, because they are a lot of fun. You gotta love when you win a good tournament.
Yeah, that's for sure. And the Silk Road, at least more than anything, the Silph Arena really shared its passion when Pokemon Go PvP really came out. And we're lucky to really have that still until the end of it. So I know that people like Swedish Chiefs and other PvP really leaders in the community will try to continue on, just like Chris mentioned, to grassroots the beginnings of Pokemon Go and Pokemon Go PvP more than anything. But there's still, if we want that to happen, we know that the Play Pokemon tournaments or the Play Pokemon events should be going around and making sure that you get to play more Pokemon Go PvP in that sense. So we know that at least the Play Pokemon circuit is happening, and you're able to talk to your local game shop or things like that to really maximize on it. But of course, we need to actually get people going in the Play Pokemon circuit anyways. However, just like Grace mentioned, hopefully somebody or the group of the community, the PvP, will really voice together to continue on the amazingness of just playing Pokemon Go and PvP in that sense, So that is what it is, I guess. Lord Drew says here, my local community used the Silph Arena to get tournaments and going again post-pandemic. It's a shame hosting tournaments will be tougher after the summer. Yeah, I do agree. It's gonna be tougher once the summer comes around and once the doors are finally closed. But I'm sure that that the community out there will continue on regardless. PV Poke, Go Stadium, they have their own discourse, and they're definitely gonna be working together to do things to continue on the big PvP aspect of the game. Really, Silph Arena really has a lot of foundations of everything that we do these days. It is crazy, you know. It's crazy. But let's move on from the roller coaster of emotions that we have here. Let's move on to really to I guess some teasers, some things that Niantic and Pokemon Go has to offer. Recently today, or at least today this morning, we had a teaser of something in development, and they have pictures of a couple of Pokeballs that we have seen. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys here. So right here says in development, hashtag Rising Heroes. So we have an image of Pokeball, Gray Ball, Ultra Ball, the Beast Ball, and the Premier Ball, and then something in the middle. That's of course a question mark. What could it be? What teasers are out there for it? And I believe they're probably not going to give us really that much information until most likely Wednesday, mostly when the time the Battle of Zero ends. And that's because, we still have Community Day and then the end of the month event when it happens. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get there. Then after that, we had save those dates. It's time to talk about the next dates for Community Day of the summer. Chris, do you want to talk about those real quick?
Sure.
If you got the voice.
I should be all right. So, if you want to know the community days coming up, get ready. The final community days of Season 10 Rising Heroes are behind us, but this is the next season's community dates.
Yep.
Saturday, June 10th, 2023 is going to be the first one. Sunday, July 9th, 2023 will be a Community Day Classic. Sunday, July 30th will be the next one. And then Sunday, August 13th, 2023 will be the one after that. Community Days aren't the only events on the horizon. Here are the dates for additional in-game events coming. They're not giving any details yet, except for the Go Fest. Saturday, June 3rd will be the first one.
Ooh.
Saturday, June 22nd will be the next one. And then for Go Fest, it will be Saturday and Sunday, August 27th through the August 26th through the 27th, sorry. And that will be the Pokemon Go Fest Global. So be ready.
Yeah, be very ready. The summer is almost here. We're about to hit the first really good events that we may have. We still have no ideas of what technically the next season is going to be. We're supposed to technically have another event before the end of the month, which is a week from now, I guess, or 2 weeks from now. But yeah, just knowing, of course, just letting us know that we're ready for the next community days is actually pretty good. I know that I'll be able to probably play the first community day, which is June 10, I believe. Let me check here. Yes, as far as I know, I think I have a vacation after that, so at least from work. So I will be able to take that part of that. And then June 3rd, it also seems pretty good. June is also my birthday month.
Ooh.
But regardless, just knowing that the dates are there, Community Day class is still a thing. The way that they shaped up the Community Day, or not, the non-Community Day events like June 3rd, July 22nd, and the Glowfest, it just seems a little scattered between the next 3 months. Just the first one really worrying about June 3rd, and then the next one right after that, June 22nd. It's like, what are you up to, Niantic? What are you up to? But yeah, so that's that when it comes down to it. Just make sure you save those dates. Let us know if you need some dates. That didn't sound right. Anyways, let's get into some quickly PvP. Get good, get wrecked. Here we go. So GVL is again also in its last leg of this season. Currently waiting for another. Where's the dates for this?
Ooh.
Oh, 16 days. Okay, so 16 more days. So basically a little over 2 weeks for the season to really end. We do have the Ultra League Sunshine Cup Grail Edition going on right now. So it's pretty cool. Any plays on that, Chris?
Yeah, I did Go Battle Day, which for some reason was yesterday on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But I did it in the afternoon, after my mom was already, asleep basically.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were complaining because you couldn't just back out. You had to actually battle throughout the whole battle. Where I'll just mention it really quick.
Yeah.
Because I didn't pay for it, but
I didn't either.
it's $1 for what 26,000 Stardust, maybe less. I think it was 26.
And you had to do 100 battles for all of those, which that was probably the worst gold battle day we had in a while. First and foremost is money gated, which is not something that the community likes or has actually liked since the beginning of this season anyways. Then we had to do 100 battles that same day, so they do give you the ability to do 100 battles, but then the research requires you to do 100 battles, and just Kristen's mentioned, if you back out it doesn't count, so that you waste one battle and you can't complete the research. What's the point? You can basically catch enough Pokemons in the next 6 or 8 hours to make sure that you can have more than enough Stardust for the amount that you get from sitting at home and just battling for 100 times. It's like and it was a pay glitch, like Drew was saying. It was such a bad decision from them to not be able to even finish the battle, so it doesn't count. Like, I understand that maybe the reason why is because they don't want people to just enter the battle and then quit it right there, and then that way you count through your battles. But at least let us finish the research. Like, I don't think not one soul in this planet did all 100 battles without any troubles. I don't think anybody has actually had the ability to put that time research into their stack of researchers that they get at the end. It's not possible. I mean, if it was, kudos to you if you never had any glitches or problems with GBL recently. But yeah, it's just, oh Lord have mercy. Oh God, it's a little frustrating. It's a little frustrating. Now, it's just frustrating for that a lot of people just can't get through that. And I didn't play not even one battle. I was focusing more on another game that came out that same weekend. But at the same time, it was Mother's Day, and I really didn't even have the ability to even look at my phone half the time from playing Pokemon Go. I had the Go Plus running. I just didn't have the chance to really look and, tap for, 6 hours.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too excited, and then after I caught a Pokemon, I was like, wait a second, this may be the best chance to get a PvP Great League Tapu Fini because of the IVs that you can get on Go Battle Day.
True, but I don't know. The low rates of getting legendaries.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
Yeah,
I didn't get a single Tapu.
Yeah, it's a good day if you want to spend more than just the 25 battles that you usually get per day. But don't get it the way that you did. It's bad business. That was really the worst business I have seen from them in a long time.
Yeah, I can get behind them locking things behind doing some battles. I don't think all 100 is the way to go.
No.
I think maybe 1 or 2 sets max.
Yeah, and
because especially if people are complaining about some issues in the battle system.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Drew says that the legendaries don't get affected by the IB floor change.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, battle day. Make sure that you just don't pull a Niantic card on Niantic, like, seriously. That was like that's just bad business all around. I'll keep saying it anyways. So I guess we should probably check in on factions, being that it will be probably the last cycle now that I know of.
It's definitely the last cycle of Silph.
Yeah.
But I keep saying, and it's something I keep seeing make the rounds on Twitter.
Yeah.
Do not disband the factions just yet, because likely there's going to be people coming up to try and keep that still going afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a lot of people are really happy with the factions thing. It's very cool to be able to cheer on a team too, I'd say. But this week, I am very impressed with my team. Oh my gosh, dude! There was what was it? I want to say like 3 or 4 of my teammates and we all were 1-2 versus the SoCal Swab Blue. So it was like 4-8 or something like that. And then the last 2 or 3 Switchmaster teammates, 2 of them decided, yo, what if we just swept? And they freaking swept the opponent. I couldn't believe it. Not that I don't believe in them, but oh my gosh, the sweat that they had is insane. I'm super happy with them.
Yeah. Congratulations, really.
Yeah, that was False Water Cobra and Loudmouth. Loudmouth is our Master League Supreme, and False Water is our Great League guy. So yeah, I'm super happy with how they performed. Um, yeah, we're looking into the last week with very happy eyes. The last opponent we have a 2-0 record versus them. So we're not super worried, but in the last bout they did beat a team that beat us, so you never know, it could be like rock paper scissors. uh yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it. We want to end this season on a good note, especially if it is going to be Sylph's last season.
Yeah. No, definitely. Man, I just feels like it just keeps getting worse and worse the more that we talk about the Silt Arena or anything. So, just I am gonna be glad that hopefully somebody out there is gonna continue on the legacy in some way, shape, or form. But congratulations to Smashers, really, for a time out win for you guys, really. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Congratulations,
It
really.
picked us up from our bootstraps. Yeah.
There you go. And I guess that's pretty much it. A little shorter podcast than we usually are able to, but that's because again, news has really been really slow this time around. So I'm sure we're gonna have more news for you guys next week. We're definitely gonna have community day happening. So I'm sure everybody's gonna be like, I got chandos, So, but yeah, anything else to cover, Chris? Anything that you wanna head up before we actually?
Yeah. It's very small, and a lot of you guys might know. Before we dropped the little what's it called?
Giveaway.
The little well, yeah, that, but the little info that Nosepass always turns to face to the north in Pokemon Go. Today I found out via Twitter. From the person I saw it from was Jay the Underdog on Twitter. I did get a screenshot this time. I never do, and I want to cite my sources. But they pointed out that Surskit and Shiny Surskit have different sprites in the catch screen, and it came to my attention. Some people already know this, but a lot of shinies and the normal sprites have different forms. So you can look through and see what's different for Surskit. One's leaning to the right, and the shiny is leaning to the left. It's different for a lot of them. It's almost like they took a screenshot at different times in their motion, which is it's kind of strange to think about because you know, you always can tell a Pokemon shiny by looking at it, but you know, you don't really notice a lot of the changes in how they look. I don't know how to describe it. I was gonna say in the motion, but it's a picture, so it definitely wouldn't be motion for the right word.
Yeah, no, definitely. To say the least, it's kind of interesting how they picture that. You know, you'll just look into your shinies and regulars and see how they're shaped up, but most of them are pretty much the same regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if that's it for now, thank you so much for everybody for listening to the podcast. You know, you can always listen us to any of the podcast services feeds like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, and all those places. Make sure if you can leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Follow our social media accounts, myself at Pure Let It Go, Chris at PKMN Trigger Please, and that's with a Z at the end. Purified Podcast for anything related for Pokemon Go or anything that we want to mention. Purifiedpodcast at gmail.com. If you want to email us anything, just let us know what you guys want to talk about. Even share some news or anything that you guys want to share regardless. Join our Discord. We have it for free. So if you guys want to talk to us, we definitely are there most of the time. And then don't forget to check us out at thepurifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. With that being said, I believe it's time to take away for the night, Chris.
All right, all right, all right. Hope you guys had a very lovely week. It is always sad to say goodbye to, you know, something we've seen, you know, since day one. But, you know, I want to remain hopeful. I know we got a strong community out there. So, you know, keep together with your community, keep together with your friends, and, you know, we'll work together. And hopefully we got a whole nother group to work with from the ground up. So I'm very excited. Peace out, guys. We'll catch you next week. We're going to be excited for the news to drop right after the podcast. Let's go. Peace.
Keep purifying them, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.